I know it's kind of dark in this car, but I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna call it something along the lines of single moms. It isn't about you. I grew up in a single mother household, and I've known a lot of single moms throughout my life. And one consistent thing that I always seen with single mothers is that single mothers tend to put their kids through hell. And their kids always going through traumatizing experiences because they have no father around to protect them, and they always grow up with a chaotic mindset, almost always grow up with a chaotic mindset because there was no man in there to impart wisdom onto them. You know what I mean? But single mothers, man, it isn't about you. You know what I mean? Thinking about a lot of times when I was a kid, man, the stuff that I've been through, it had made me grow, it had made me have a lot of obstacles and stuff in life to overcome, and it turned me into a very angry and suicidal teenager. Because of the things that I've been through, I was so angry and I didn't want to live life anymore because of the circumstances that I've been through and the hand that I was dealt in life. But there's no worse feeling in the world for a boy to grow up feeling like his dad don't love him because he ain't there. But there's another bad feeling, there's another worse feeling to have for a kid to grow up, to find out, to think to himself that his parents never cared about him because they didn't teach him life skills and stuff, and because they didn't teach him, they didn't raise him in a good environment. You know what I mean? Do you know what it feels like to one day just wake up and think to yourself that my mom and my dad don't love me, that my mom and my dad didn't love me, and they didn't love me enough to give me a life? Do you know what it feels like to feel like your own parents owed you a life? Many single mothers don't think about these things when they try to buy into the lie of being a strong, independent woman. What does it mean to be a strong, independent woman? Because as far as what I've seen, it is always putting your kid through all this trauma. It is always putting your kid through all, I remember growing up, I grew up in several different home shelters. We had to stay with different families. We had to stay with certain other people's families. And that stuff could leave your children open to a lot of danger in life. You know what I mean? That stuff. And I'm talking about also what I see with single mothers. Y'all put y'all kids through all this different kinds of danger because you're trying to hold on to your pride. Do not your child's life matter more? There be certain people, there was certain times when we was about to get taken away from our parents when we was kids, and there's a lot of other kids who grew up in the ghetto and all that stuff who've been through the same thing when being taken away from your mama could have gave you a better life. And when single mothers see that their kid is about to get taken away and possibly have a better life, what they think about is, I don't want to lose my kid, but what about what your kid? What about what's best for your kid? What about what's best for your kid, man? Do you think that your kid would be better off adopted or growing up in multiple shelters and crack houses where there's violence all at the side of the house, where there's violence all around the house, where there's violence in the house? Think about the kid. Think about the pride of the single mothers. It's just they women have more pride than a man could ever have. And they could never admit it because they disguise it or justify it by saying that the way they feel is for the sake of someone else, when the fact is that they are only thinking about themselves and the way they feel, while at the same time they killing their kid and they don't even see it. Like, if you are a single mom out there, man, put your kid up for adoption. If you ain't got no place for them, or if the places that you do have for them is bad for them, put your kid up for adoption, because you do not want no kid like angry at you. You don't want your own kid growing up wondering, why did my parents hate me? Why did my mother and father forsake me? Why, like, if they love me, why would they put me through all this? You know, single mothers, this is not just about you. This is not just about the way you feel. This is not, like, don't keep the father out of the life too. Never keep the father out of the life of a kid. When you keep the father out of the life of a kid, you blocking him from instruction, you blocking him from wisdom, you blocking him from a stable household and coaching and protection. Single mothers, you cannot protect your kid. You may think you can. Single mothers think they could do a lot of things, but you can't. And you got to see yourself as being only human, and there's so much that you can do, because if you think of yourself any more than that, you have to realize that you are putting your child in danger while doing that. You have to realize that. Otherwise, it could cost you the life of your child. It could definitely cost you the life of your child. You don't want to do that. And I know that there's a lot of single mothers who love their kids emotionally and stuff, but you have to think about the bigger picture. You have to think about the bigger picture. And I'm telling you, single mothers, this because I know that a lot of y'all had that pride. Y'all had that thick pride where y'all cannot just admit that y'all need a man, where y'all can't just admit that y'all need help, where y'all can't just admit that some of y'all kids need to be adopted to have a better life. And I know a lot of women, a lot of single mothers might disagree. And if you disagree, then you are free to do so. But I'm letting you know this as somebody who grew up this way, and on a conscious level, on the subconscious level, single mothers, it is all about you. But on the conscious level, you believe that you are doing this for your kid, and you believe that you are loving your kid in the right way, but you are not. You are destroying them. You are destroying her. You know what I mean? You are destroying your own babies, and you don't even know. And you don't even know.